What up, YouTube fam? It's April G. Showers back at y'all with another poem that I put to a beat. I've never shared this many poems this close together before, and the only reason I'm doing it is because a very, very special woman requested it. She used to be my sponsor. For those of you who don't know what a sponsor is, in AA and NA, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, you find a sponsor, someone you can relate to, that you trust, to work the 12 steps with. The primary purpose of a sponsor in AA and NA is to guide you through the 12 steps. So I actually did work all 12 steps with her. It took me, I went to rehab in August 2011. I began working step 1 in September 2011, and I finished in January 2012. So 4 months. It took me 4 months to work all 12 steps. I'm very grateful for the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous, as well as Alcoholics Anonymous, because there would not be an NA without an AA. So yeah, the 12 steps, working the 12 steps, literally changed and saved my life. I always say that God led me to the 12 steps, and in turn, the 12 steps led me back to God. I went to NA and AA meetings 7 days a week, 365 days a year for over 3 years of my recovery. Like literally every day, like Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving. If I went out of town, I would Google meetings in that town and go to a meeting in that town. That's what I needed for me and my recovery at the time, so that's what I did. And that's what worked for me. I am a firm believer that there is not just one way to recover. You just have to find what works for you and stick with that. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. But all I can do is share what has worked for me and what I've done. Some people go to church. Some people end up going to jail, and that's how they get and stay clean and sober. Some people go to rehab and then get out, don't go to meetings or anything, and stay clean and sober. Some people just quit cold turkey and stay clean and sober. Everybody's different. We're all different, and I respect that. Like I said, recovery is an extremely individualized process. So yeah, I will be clean 9 years this August, on August 8th. 8. This poem, it's called Sitting Here. She requested this because it's very special, because this is actually, I started writing when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere in there, and I wrote poetry then. I've always kept a journal ever since I could write. And then the school shooting happened in 1995. I was a freshman. I was 15, and I started getting high when I was 16, and then I stopped writing for 15 years, other than keeping a journal. I didn't write poetry or anything like that. I just kept a journal for like 15 years because I was in active addiction about 15 years. And then when I was 18 months clean, this title popped in my head. That's my writing process. I call it a God thing. A title will pop in my head, and like I immediately know that that's what it is when it pops in my head, and I immediately grab a notebook and my pen, a literal notebook and pen, and write. I'll write the title at the top of the page, and then I just start writing from there. This poem took me about 15-20 minutes to write. I remember the night I wrote it. It was February 2013. I was 18 months clean. As soon as I wrote it, I called my sponsor and read it to her over the phone, and she started crying. And she told me that it was my gift from God, that writing was my gift from God. And my little brother had always told me that too, At that time, I said thank you, and I was very honored and grateful, but I didn't see it as a gift at that time. I do see it as a gift now. Um, but yeah, that is my writing process. A title will pop in my head, and I know what that means, and I'll grab my notebook and my pens. I have pens and stuff and highlighters and stuff over here, and I just start writing. And then after I get finished writing it, I'll transfer it into my little folder on my phone that I use to keep all my writings in. Um, so yeah, when I wrote this, both of my brothers were still alive. Yeah. Uh, there's really not much else to say. Like I said, though, I did attend meetings, AA meetings. For those of you who are wondering, well, why did you go to AA if your drug of choice was not alcohol? I was never addicted to alcohol. I've never liked alcohol. In my town, I live in a very, very, very small country town. They only offer NA meetings 3 nights a week. So on the other 4 nights when they didn't have an AA or NA meeting available, I would attend an AA meeting. Alcohol is a drug, so the only difference for me when I would go to AA is the terminology that is used. Each fellowship uses different terminology. AA, for instance, they say alcoholic. Hi, I'm April, I'm an alcoholic. And alcohol and sober and sobriety. Whereas in NA, in Narcotics Anonymous, you say, hi, I'm April, I'm an addict. And you use the word addict, addiction, drugs, and recovery. Also in NA is all inclusive. It includes alcohol. So with NA, it's pretty much for people who are addicted to any type of mood or mind altering substance, including alcohol. And then AA is singleness of purpose for alcohol. Of course, if you're an addict and you were never addicted to alcohol or whatever, you can still go to AA. You just have to, when you introduce yourself and you share, you just have to say the words alcohol, alcoholic, sober. And in NA, it's addict, addiction, clean. But then outside of the rooms, outside of the meetings, you say whatever you want. So I say clean, sober, addiction, alcoholism. So anybody who's watching this can relate. So yeah, after 3 years of going to meetings, I went in a different direction. I started online Facebook recovery ministry. I run 3 recovery pages on Facebook and 1 recovery group. The 3 pages I run by myself and do it all by myself. My recovery group that I started, I have a couple admins to help me out with that. So yeah, YouTube's not the only thing I do. So if I'm not on YouTube, I'm dealing with recovery stuff on Facebook, or I'm being a mom. I rarely ever rest. So yeah, y'all. Now, I do want to add, though, with my writing, that's not to say that I can't just write. If someone were to want me to write something for them and tell me the topic or whatever, I could write something if someone wants me to. You know what I mean? I've written, someone wanted me to write something for them. It was this couple from Canada, and they were doing this big suicide prevention, suicide awareness convention thing. And they asked me to write a piece for them for that, and I did, and that was cool. They read my poem at the convention, and it had like, I forgot, like 15,000, 20,000 people there. So that was cool. Several of my poems are in different rehabs across America. No, I don't get paid for it. And that's, that's not why I do it. But yeah, I do it to help people, period. It's a form of therapy for me. It's very therapeutic for me. It's my release. And first and foremost, I do it to help others. So yeah, I've talked long enough. This is the most I've ever talked, I think, with a poem video. I'm sorry. I recently shared this poem in my recovery, on my recovery pages and in my group on Facebook, and this is what I wrote at the top. I said, I wrote this at 18 months clean. It has now been 7+ years. My little brother has since passed away, 5/24/15 at 21, and my older brother passed away 2/21/18 at 46. But hopefully someone will gain some hope and or encouragement from it. Love y'all. So yeah, okay. It's called Sitting Here. Hope y'all like it. As always, the beat is from Rujay. Link is in the description box. As always, I am not a rapper. I am not an artist. I'm a writer. So in the comments, I want critique, brutal honesty, feedback on my writing, my lyrics, not the rapping, because I know I can't rap. I already know that. Okay. April G Squad. Love y'all. Let's get it.
Who else but MickeyMontz?
Sitting here on the floor playing Barbies with my dad, laughing and cutting up some of the best times I've had. Sitting here in my room, listening to them fight. They act like everything's okay, but something isn't right. Sitting here in the chair, they tell me dad is leaving. I'm supposed to be okay with it, but deep inside I'm grieving. Sitting here in the kitchen on my 8th birthday. My dad brings me gifts and then he goes away. Sitting here in this trailer, we moved to a different place. I see dad every 2 weeks, it's difficult to face. Sitting here at the wedding, guess I'm used to it by now. Then another wedding, I got through it all somehow. Sitting here in our new house with my mom and new stepdad. I adapted very well, it's the only choice I had. Sitting here on the bus, it was my freshman year. My best friend just got shot at school, inward creeps of fear. Sitting here on the couch, I still had not cried. Then the shock came when I learned my friend had died. Sitting here in the car, a year had passed by. Not knowing what I was in for, I decided to get high. Ooh, what a relief is what I thought I felt. This is all I needed to get me out of this mental hell. Sitting here in the waiting room, waiting for an answer. One of the worst days of my life, they said my brother had brain cancer. Sitting here in the chapel, I broke down and cried. I became angry with God, screaming at him, why? Sitting here on the couch, a few years then passed. My brother was doing well, all was good at last. Sitting here at the hospital, I just had my son. My world had come together, I thought the bad was done. Sitting here on my bed, I was about to crack. I was badly addicted, my brother's cancer was back. Sitting here all alone, so hopeless and so shattered. I'll just take a few more, nothing else mattered. Sitting here in my room, lifted my head, looked at my son and thought he's gonna find his mommy dead. Sitting here in this place, I decided to get help. It was hard for me to do, I couldn't do it by myself. Sitting here in this fog, shaking, sick and scared. I felt so weak and helpless, I felt that no one cared. Sitting here in group, the fog began to lift. I did what they suggested, and what an awesome gift. Sitting here in this meeting, not sure what's going on. They all told me that they love me and I'll never be alone. Sitting here at the house, I just got back in town. Feeling really anxious, resisting falling down. Sitting here in this room, working on myself. These steps can be so hard, but I know I need the help. the chair. They say my brother's cancer's back. Why are we going through this? Feel like I'm under attack. Sitting here on the couch. How do I stay clean? Feel so lost and scared, not feeling at all serene. Sitting here on the phone, talking to my sponsor Patty. I don't want to hurt my son, my brother, my mom or daddy. Sitting here and she tells me I'm living my reservation. How do I get through this with God and determination? Sitting here at work, waiting for an answer. My dad called and said they're confident it isn't cancer. Sitting here in tears, thanking God above for healing my brother, for his unconditional love. Sitting here in my own place, yet another gift I received. All because that one day I sat there and believed. I sat there and believed. Don't be scared to sit in that chair. Yeah, I know it can be a nightmare. It's okay. You'll be okay. You are worth it. You deserve it. Reach out for help. Do it for yourself. If I can do it, anybody can. All you gotta do is reach out your hand. We do recover. We got each other. So that was sitting here. I know I got off beat and stuff. I always do. Like I said, I'm not an artist and I'm not a rapper. I'm a writer. So yeah, that was sitting here. The very first piece I wrote after I got clean, after not writing for 15 years. So yeah, it's a special one. It's a special one to me. As always, and again, the beat is from Rujay. Link is in the description box if y'all want to go check him out. He usually uploads at least a beat a day. I love you, girl. Did this for you. And I miss you. Again, y'all, if you're struggling with alcoholism, addiction, prayers, first of all. Second of all, there is hope. You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Like, period. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You're not alone. There are thousands upon thousands of people who are willing to help you. I'm one of those people. My Twitter, my IG handles are in the description boxes under every one of my videos. All you got to do is follow me on Twitter and or IG. Hit me up in my DMs. I will get to you as soon as possible. If not, if it's an emergency, call emergency services where you are. Reach out to someone. You don't have to do it alone. There are many people out there that do understand, that do get you, that do relate. I know what it feels like to feel like nobody understands you. I know what it feels like to feel like the black sheep, to feel like you don't belong. I get it. I get it. So yeah, again, that was sitting here. I hope y'all liked it. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all thought of the writing, the lyrics. Anything you want to see me react to, put that in the comments as well. Please like this video. On your way out, it's a lot more important than you think. The lie is dead. We do recover. Please subscribe to my channel, y'all. April G Squad. Fist bump. Love y'all. And I'll see y'all in just a little bit. Peace out.